Alrighty guys, 1.2c lesson. We're going to be talking probability fractions, percentage, and ratio. We get into some bar models. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause me and complete number 1 here, this table of finding these probabilities of the colored marbles. Okay, notice that you're finding it as a fraction, and then you're writing it as a percentage. So go ahead and pause me and go ahead and do that. All right, so go ahead and check your answers here. And again, you're marking up your paper so that when we discuss this lesson, if there were any questions, we can go over those together, okay? Make sure you're leaving yourself notes so you remember what to ask in a couple days, okay? All right, so that should have been a review. We're going to go ahead and go on to something new. Okay, number 2, it says use a model to solve the following questions. Find 60% of 180. Okay, so you might already know various techniques on how to find the answer to this. I'm not concerned with that right now. Okay, so I'm probably going to be teaching you a brand new way, another way to find the answer to this. Okay, so I need you to have an open mind with these, because if you already know the answer, you're like, why do I have to do all this work? Okay, but these get much larger, and the word problems that we'll be doing with these get very large. So it's very important today to not have the blocks up. I already know how to do this another way. Okay, I want you to just buy in and learn a new way to do this. Okay, all right, so when you're given the percent in the problem, sometimes you're not, but in this case we are, that's where you start. So 60%, remember that that's a portion of 100. Okay, so we've got 60 over 100, and we're going to reduce that down. I can see easily that that goes to 6/10. Okay, now I can see that that goes to 3/5. Okay, so I'm going to have a bar that has a grand total of 5 boxes in it, and I'm going to be looking at 3 of them. Okay, so I've got my bar, 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3. And again, we're humans, but you want to try to make them as equally looking as possible. Okay. All right, so let's label up this bar model. So we know that this whole thing, let me get my orange pen here. We know that this whole thing is 100%. Okay, and we know that 180 goes with the 100%. Okay, well, if this whole thing is 180 and we need to cut it up into 5 boxes, what's the value that goes in each box? I call that value the magic number. The magic number is key to solving these problems. Okay, so we're going to do 180 divided by 5, and you would find 36 is that magic number. All right, now 60%. Let's talk about the percentage in each of the boxes. If all 5 boxes are 100%, and there are 5 of them, how much percentage is in each box? Hope you said 20%, okay? So if one box is 20% and we want to mark off 60%, wouldn't we be marking off 3 boxes? Okay, so our job is to see how much 36, 36, and 36, the 3 of those 36s is the answer. Okay, so 36 times 3 is 108. So the answer to this problem, 108, is 60% of 180. Okay, this is the answer. This is the model showing the answer. Okay, yes, you might have another way to do this, but that's not what we're focusing on right now. Okay, we're learning a new technique, and I expect you to know this technique. This will be a big part of your assessments. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead. Let's do number 3 together. Okay, find 40% of 80. It's just like number 2, but the numbers are different. Same setup. Okay, remember what I said, when you're given a percent, that's what you start with. 40 over 100. 40% is 40 hundredths. Okay, we're going to reduce that to 4 tenths, which reduces to 2 fifths. Okay, so I'm gonna do a box with 5 total parts in it, and I'm gonna be looking at 2 of them. Okay, so I've got a rectangle. My rectangle is divided up into 5 boxes, and again, we're humans, but try to make them looking as close to one another as possible. Okay. All right, let's start labeling this thing up. The labeling is part of the answer. Okay, so this entire thing is 100%. 80 is 100%. Okay, now if 5 boxes total to 80, how much is in each box? Okay, so hopefully you have an answer. You did 80 divided by 5, and hopefully you got 16 to be that magic number in these boxes. Okay, let's talk about the percentage. We're trying to find 40%. 40%, let's think about each box. If we have 5 boxes that total 100%, doesn't it make sense that each box is 20%? Okay, so 40% is 2 of these boxes, and the value that goes with that would be 16 plus 16, or 16 times 2, which is 32. Okay, so 32 is 40% of 80. Again, this is our answer. This is the model used to solve for our answer. Okay? All right, you go ahead and try number 4. Pause me. It's the exact same process as number 2 and 3. Okay, so go ahead and pause me. All right, 25%. Anytime you're given a percent, you start with it over 100. Let me scooch that up. Okay, so we've got a bar, and we've got 4 parts. Okay, so it says find 25% of 324. Okay, so this entire thing is 100% and 324. Okay, magic number, that's the key to the problem. Okay, how do you find the magic number, you ask? You take the 324 total and divide it by however many boxes there are, 4. Okay, so 324 divided by 4 comes out to be a magic number of 81. Okay, now my next question. Percent. It says to find 25%. If we have 4 boxes totaling 100%, how much percent is in one box? Hopefully you said 25%. Okay, so one of these boxes is 25%, and that totals to 81. So 81 is 25% of 324. Again, the answer, the model to show the answer. Okay. All right. Those 3 problems were all the same kind. Okay, you were finding a part given a percent and a whole. I want to make sure you understand that. We were given a percent and a whole, a percent and a whole. a percent and a whole. We were finding the part, okay? Now take a look at this problem. What percent of 80 is 60? Okay, 80 now is the whole, 60 is the part, and we're trying to find the percent. Okay, so when we're not given the percent like we were in the last three problems, we have to take the part, 60, over the whole 80 and reduce. Okay, 20 goes into both of those. So 3 parts of 4. So I've got a bar with 4 parts. Okay, now here's where it gets a little tricky. Okay, so we know that 100% is 80. Well, if there are 4 boxes and we want a total to 80, hopefully you're getting onto this magic number pretty quickly. 20 is that magic number. Okay, now here's what's different. It tells us that it wants us to look at 60 to find out what percent that is. How much percent is in each box? We have 4 boxes totaling 100%, 25%. All right, so if I go out to 60, this is 60 right here, 25, 50, 75% is 60. Okay, so 60 is 75% of 80. Okay, and again, many of you probably knew that answer without doing anything. That's not the point of this. The point of it is to take a pretty simple problem, what percent of 80 is 60, and develop a new process in solving for that, showing your work behind it. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and let's do number 6 together. What percent of 120 is 48? Okay, so again, you got to think about the meaning behind this problem. We have a whole, 120. We have a part, 48. We're asked for the percent. Okay, so when we're not given a percent, you must start with a part over the whole to see what that reduces to. Okay, so I can see that 12 goes into both of these. Probably something bigger, but it's not super obvious. So I'm just going to start by reducing it by 12. Yep, and then it goes down to 2 parts of 5. All right, so we've got our box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Scooch that up. All right, the whole thing is 100% and 120. All right, if we have 5 boxes totaling 120, your next question should be, I need to find the magic number. How do I do that? I take the 120 and divide it by the number of boxes, 5, and I get 24 is my magic number. Okay, so here's where it was different than the first 3. We want to look at 48. Well, 48 is, let's see, oopsies, I'm going too far. Scratch that. Okay, so 48's right here. How much percent is in each box? How much percent? If there are 5 boxes totaling 100%, you guys good with 20% in each box? So this is 40%. All right, so 48 is 40% of 120. All right, if you think you got this type, you can skip number 7. If you feel like I'm starting to get it, you probably want to do number 7. Okay, so why don't you give it a shot on your own? Click me on in a minute or two, and I'll show you how to do it. All right, so this one, what percent of 95 is 19? Again, we've got the whole, we've got the part. We're asked to find the percent. Okay, so whenever we're not given the percent, you have to make a fraction out of the part and the whole. Okay, 19 and 95, those are kind of ugly, kind of tricky. Nothing super obvious to me. But I bet you 19 goes into 95 evenly. Okay, so nothing really goes into 19. Okay, that's a prime number. All right, so 19 into 19 goes one time. 19 into 95 goes 5 times. Okay, so we've got our box cut up into 5 chunks. Our 100% is 95. Now here's the tricky part, magic number. 95 is in 5 boxes. So in one box, that would be 19. Okay, and then this 19 is how much percent? 19. That's going to be 20%. One box has 20% in it. Okay, so 19 is 20% of 95. Okay, that's the second kind. All right, third kind. Next page here. Okay, this is the third kind. 30 is 25% of what number? We are looking for the whole. We're given a part. We're given a percent. We want to know the whole. Okay, so remember I told you when you're given the percent, you always start with that number over 100. So 25% over 100. Don't be fooled that you don't see a little percent symbol, okay? Okay, this reduces to 1/4. All right. My box is cut up into 4 chunks. Okay, this time, here's the trick. Here's the trick on this one. This whole thing is 100%. But do we know the number that goes with the 100% yet? No, we do not. We do not know that number yet. Okay, but we do know 30 is 25%. How much percent is in each box if there are 4 boxes? 25%. Okay, so if 30 is 25%, doesn't it make sense that your magic number is 30? Because that is equivalent to that 125% box. All right, so 30 goes with the 25%. Now, can you figure out what this question mark should be? 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30, 120. I'm going to cross out that question mark and put in 120. So 30 is 25% of 120. All righty, let's do another one. 12 is 10% of what number? Okay, so we're given a part, we're given a percent, and we're asked for the whole. Okay, and remember I said whenever you're given the percent, that's where you start, 10 over 100. Okay, so this is a little bit larger of a box. And when you have 10, if I started here and went 10, I would totally end up really ugly. So I'm going to cut it in half and do 5 and 5. That's much more manageable for me. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we know this whole thing is 100%. But remember, we don't know that number yet. We're trying to find out that number. Okay, it says 12 is 10% of what number? Okay, well, if we have 10 boxes, how much percent is in each? Hopefully you're thinking 10%. Okay, well, if one box is 10%, it gives you the answer right here for the magic number. It says 12 is 10%. So the magic number is 12. And you don't have to write in all these. All right, so if we have 10 12s, are we good that this question mark is 120? 12 is 10% of 120. All right, we've got one more, and this one's the ugliest. Notice the big old box. Okay, 45 is 15% of what number? All right, we're given the percent. Let's start with it over 100. The reason why it's ugly is this is only divisible by 5. Ew, 3/20ths. So our box has 20 parts. Our big old box has 20 parts. Okay, so again, 10 and 10, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Now it's much more manageable for me to bust this up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, 100%. You in agreement that we're trying to find what goes with 100%? We're trying to find this question mark here. Okay, this is a little bit different than the last two because up here we had one box. Here we have 3 boxes. Okay, so it says 45 is 15%. Let's think about the percent. 20 little boxes that make 100%. Do you understand that that would be 5% per box? So 3 boxes is 15%. 3 boxes is 15%. Okay, so 45 is 15%. All right, 3 boxes. How do we break up 45 into 3 boxes? Hopefully you're thinking 15 is the magic number. Okay, and I'm not going to write 15 out 20 times. So I just write a few. Okay. All right, now we can answer this. 20 times 15 is our answer. And that gets us 300. So 45 is 15% of 300. All right, let me scooch that up a little bit so you can see the answer. This lesson is very, very important. Again, you probably know how to find out a bunch of these answers without doing much work, probably just in your head. Okay, but it's about these bar models. And if you're resisting the bar models, you're going to have a heck of a time the rest of this module. Okay, please do not resist the bar models. Jump in now, try your homework. If you're not understanding, you must come in for help. Okay, contact your teacher if you need help with this. This was probably the first tougher lesson we've had, okay? But it's a very important one, okay? Thanks, guys.